Donald Trump, his regime, his White House press secretary, KKK Caroline, have all repeatedly said that the Trump administration is the most transparent in America's history. Weird now that we're getting reporting that FBI investigators blacked out Trump's name and the names of other high-profile figures that appeared in the Epstein files. The FBI claimed that not blacking out their names would constitute an unwarranted invasion of privacy. So this was done January, February, I suppose, because in February, the White House handed over binders of what was like pretty much publicly available Epstein Files information to a number of MAGA far-right influencers. That was their desperate attempt to try to prove to their base, like, hey guys, we're listening to you. We understand that you want the Epstein files released. We understand the Trump campaigned on this. It was a big promise. It's the core mission for MAGA. So we're going to throw a handful of MAGA influencers, these highly redacted binders, and hope that that pacifies all of you. At the time, according to Bloomberg, Pam Bondi said that that was the first phase in the rollout of the Epstein files. I know I've played the clip before, but at the time, Bondi was like, hey, there's also the Epstein client list and far more information that is sitting on my desk right now to review. I mean, we also know now that back in March, my Senator Ron Wyden from Oregon sent a large amount of information to Pam Bondi about financial transfers in and out of Epstein's account in the U.S. Virgin Islands. $1.1 billion worth of transfers. There were more than, I think, 4,600 transactions that all warrant investigation. Who was paying Epstein sometimes $100 million a pop? Was that hush money? Was he bribing them? Why were they paying him? Ron Wyden gave all of that to Pam Bondi back in March. And then in May, I mean, we didn't find this out until much later, Pam Bondi met with Donald Trump at the White House and told him, like, hey, my dude, your name is all over the Epstein files. And the next thing we know, it's July. And while Donald Trump had said for years that releasing the Epstein files would expose the deep state and this secret cabal of powerful Democrats, and MAGA like really embraced that, yes, we have to get justice for these girls, #save the children. The Epstein files must be released. The PDF files must be held accountable, which of course they should. And after we saw MAGA after MAGA after MAGA being like, the main reason I voted for Donald Trump was because he promised to release the Epstein files and expose the deep state. Suddenly in July, Pam Bondi, after saying back in February that releasing these binders of highly redacted material to MAGA influencers was the first phase of releasing the Epstein files, suddenly in July she was like, JK guys, oh, no, just kidding. Sorry. Actually, nothing to see here. We're not going to release any more information. Epstein files considered closed. We expect you all to just forget everything we said in the past and to be content with this and move along. The Trump administration released a statement that there was, quote, no basis to revisit the disclosure of these materials. The DOJ determined that, quote, no further disclosure would be appropriate or warranted. Of course, it was only after that Donald Trump and his regime betrayed their MAGA base by refusing to release the Epstein files that we found out that Pam Bondi had secretly met with Donald Trump in May and told him that his name was all over the files. And now today we're finding out that back in January, February, the FBI redacted Trump and I guess his buddies, other powerful people's names from the Epstein files before they put together those binders for MAGA influencers. I mean, to any reasonable person, this looks like a cover-up. And we know that Americans can tolerate a lot of corruption. They can tolerate a lot of abuse from their governmental officials, but we don't do well with cover-ups. Look at Richard Nixon and Watergate. And I know that Knitting Cult Lady and others have said that the core mission for so many MAGA was the release of the Epstein files, and that when you take away the core mission, you destroy the core mission for a cult, that cult starts to really fall apart. So we've seen MAGA irate over this, and Trump has not taken it well. He has been crashing out really hard. Right, since at least 2019, Trump has been calling for the release of the Epstein files, claiming that Bill and Hillary Clinton are likely going to be in them. And then now he's done a 180. He is saying that the Epstein files are a hoax. He is encouraging all of his followers to suddenly believe that it's the Epstein hoax. And I've talked about before how when Trump calls something a hoax, that's like his tell in poker when there are credible accusations. Things he's been convicted for, found liable for in a court of law, he's called all of those things a hoax. The two things he was impeached over, despite the fact that the Smithsonian has now removed his 2 impeachments from their exhibit on impeachment because Trump is trying to rewrite history. We know that he was impeached twice. He's the only president in U.S. history to be impeached twice, and he called both of those impeachments a hoax. Trump has gone as far as to call his own extremely loyal base stupid, to say that he doesn't need their support anymore, and to claim that they have been conned by the radical left into believing the Epstein hoax. He's now desperately begging his followers to forget about Epstein, to move on, to stop talking about it. He keeps saying, this is old news. Why does everybody keep bringing this up? And then he also says, focus on Bill Clinton. Bill Clinton went to Epstein Island 28 times. Larry Summers went to Epstein Island. Don't look at me. Don't look at me, you guys. Don't focus on me. He seems pretty fucking panicky, and every single day there is a new piece of information that comes out that is pretty damning for him and for his administration. It looks more and more and more like a cover-up. And let's not forget, last year, Pam Bondi, in an interview with Fox News, said that the people named within the so-called Epstein files have no legal basis to conceal their names unless they are a child, a victim of Epstein and his accomplices, or a cooperating defendant. So if there's no basis to black out Donald Trump's name, then why did they do it? And at his Senate confirmation hearing back in January, FBI director and known conspiracy theorist Kash Patel said that the American public had the right to know the full weight of what happened. So why are they blacking shit out? Why are they saying that they now are closing the investigation and there's nothing more to see here? We should all just move along. You tell me. Does this sound like a cover-up to you? What should the American people do about it?